Hey, Dexter's back with a new Showtime limited series, Dexter New Blood, and I was able to attend the world premiere event here in New York. So is Dexter worth revisiting 8 years after what many would say was a disappointing finale? Let's find out. Attending the world premiere event here was a blast, and the folks over at Showtime and Fandom did a good job in putting everybody who attended back into the mood to catch up with one of our favorite serial killers ever to grace our TV screens. We had a chance to walk through settings that we would later on get more familiar with once we settled in and started watching the events unfold in the first episode of the new limited series. First off, I would say that it's surprising how much of episode 1 was featured in the trailer of the series that we got last month. So if you wanted to be truly surprised or go in fully fresh, it would be best for you to try your best to forget everything that you were teased with. And it goes without saying that things I mentioned in this video may be considered spoilers, so you are warned. But then again, a lot of these things I talk about were featured in the teaser, so you have that. Also, if you do like what you see in this video and you want to see more, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate the support for a young channel like mine. We find Dexter 10 years after the final events of Miami, now living in upstate New York in a town called Iron Lake, where instead of living the life of a lumberjack like we were teased with in the season finale, but instead working in a sporting goods store under his new name Jim Lindsay. Dexter appears to be at peace with his new life and living amongst the townfolk as if he belonged there all along. However, knowing Dexter, you know that he's living this life mimicking what he feels that these new neighbors of his would expect to see from one of their own. Dexter has a new lady in his life as well, and the irony of it all is that she happens to be part of local law enforcement, in which he finds himself constantly around. It's funny seeing him within somewhat similar surroundings, but fighting the urge to invest in local events, especially when it comes to crimes involving violence. He's turned a new leaf, or at least that's what we're supposed to believe. He's ice fishing, helping out the locals, and even attempts to be a hunter. Not in the human killer sense, but an actual game hunter in his pursuit of a wild buck that he obsesses over. However, even with this normal act, you can see that he too still struggles with the notion of shooting a beautiful creature. Or I should say a creature of innocence, not one that has done anything wrong to anybody. As what was teased in the trailer, Deb is also back, but replaces his father Harry to be his inner voice and voice of reason. It's Deb that has been helping Dexter change his ways and truly leave his previous life and be a better and cleaner person in his new surroundings. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be a true Dexter season if all of this didn't change and Dexter comes across several situations that forces him to break his persona, and ultimately is faced with a choice whether or not to revert to his old ways. Coming face to face with his son Harrison, who somehow was sleuthy enough to track him down, Dexter fears that his dark passenger would transfer onto his son, so he struggles in acknowledging the fact that he can still be a father after all that transpired and after such a long absence. By the end of the episode, we do see the old ways coming back, but in a different way, perhaps a messier way, because Dexter's out of practice, and it's almost like he's learning about himself all over again. So we are truly teased with what's to come for the rest of the season in a way that leaves us questioning as to how this will all end for him once again. For you Dexter fans, you will love the familiar beats that we see throughout the episode that I'm hoping will continue through the series. Dexter's a creature of routine, and we see him trying his best to stick to his routine, to stay as sane as possible. When any of this is interrupted, it's fun seeing Dexter once again struggle with his inner darkness as he's deciding on how to handle unexpected situations as they come up. Deb is there to try her best to be the voice of reason, but you also get a sense that Dexter may be a bit tired of it, or it's getting to the point where it no longer makes sense to him. It's great knowing that Michael C. Hall is teaming up with showrunner Clyde Phillips, who was responsible for the first 4 seasons, which I consider to be the best seasons of Dexter. We were told by him directly that this is an attempt to bring the show, and more importantly, the character back to form, and to treat us, the fans, with a series that will remind us why we fell in love with Dexter in the first place. After watching episode 1, you can see that they are doing their best to move forward and perhaps somehow correct the missteps that transpired in the last season of the original series. Now, this was just episode 1, and I'll be curious to see how events unfold in the follow-up episodes, but I will say that it at least intrigued me enough that I would want to give this a shot and find out more for myself. But enough about what I think. What's more important is what you all think. Is Dexter a New Blood something that you're looking forward to? Are you hankering to catch up with Dexter Morgan and see what he's been up to after all these years? Let me know in the comments, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, smash that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.